Going on YouTube? It's your boy Yimbo. Welcome back to my channel, Yimbo Reviews Everything. And this is my Sunday evening show about life and toys. It is Yimbo Buys Everything episode Who Knows and Who Cares, because we're having a blast. Welcome to 2023. I'm bringing the energy today, and I'm bringing one of my buddies, one of my awesome toy friends. I'm bringing him in right now. We're kicking things off. You know him over on Instagram. I hope. I've talked about him. He's been on the stream as Autumn_Night_, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But over here on YouTube, you might have seen him in the chat. It's King Eternal. Here's my man, Eric. What is going on, buddy?
What's up, dude?
How are you, dude? Are you ready to rock and roll? I am so fired up. We have in store for you our top 10, and here I have a little slide. So this is going to be not as clean as I was hoping because of the switching of the tabs. I kind of hoped that it was like a Google Meet where you can just share one tab to the next and blah, 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 and bounce back and forth. It's not quite that way, but as long as you guys bear with us, that's all that counts. And we're going to be having fun talking about our top 10 figures of 2022. Red Space Rangers in the house. What is going on, buddy? Good to see you here. Again, Happy New Year to all of you out there. Thank you so much. I hope you had a great New Year's Eve. I hope you had a nice day today. I went to bed early. Eric, did you go to bed early? I saw a meme of yours that was too funny about, because I was in bed by 11.
It's kind of my goal to be in bed because it's like I'm normally not up that late. So what's the difference?
Right. No, dude, I'm telling you. I missed the ball. It's not the first time I've skipped the ball drop where like my wife was like, Happy New Year, babe. That was it. Like, we got to do.
Go up to my toys like, what's up, bro? What's up, bro?
Yeah, right. I do love that. I have to still do that. That's on my radar. What's going on? This is Cody's in the house. Too much toy news. I will tell you again. He's both on Instagram and TikTok. But if you don't know him on Instagram, please go check his TikTok because it's enormous and he's awesome. I was watching him do a live stream of a Ninja Turtle game. I'm telling you, Eric, you're going to love Cody. You got to reach out to Cody. He's great. He's on Instagram.
Okay.
Clint Tassik's in the house. What's going on, Clint? Sunty, my man, my fellow toy daddy, no chewing. How you doing, bud? 88 Figs. Oh, dude. So Ozzy is going to be joining me at some point in the future. He's definitely going to be an upcoming guest on Yimbo Interviews Everyone. We already were talking, chit-chatting because he's a customizer extraordinaire. And then Rusty's in the house. What's going on, Skullified? So, guys, for those of you in the chat tonight, please share your opinions. Because, again, this is just our personal lists. I could probably make a million different, well, not a million, but I might still do a couple of other little, like, Marvel Legends specific or whatever. But, like, I don't know. Right now, this is just my 10 favorite figures of last year. And it was really, really difficult because, Eric, you, my friend, had criteria, whereas I did not.
And I had to set the criteria because if I didn't set the criteria, everything would be the best figure.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It's true. Well, that's like, hey, listen, at the end of the day, we should be excited about all of these figures, right? Like that's the whole end of the day. Like we can be nitpicky and like have the little differences of, because really, like I could still shuffle my list. Like I was throwing it together not long ago. I had my pictures, I had my figures selected, and then it's like the ranking, and I was still moving things around. So I know like this. I'm just gonna throw this out. I've heard from so many people that do what we do in terms of toy collecting or toy photography or the combination, how we all went far too hard in 2022 with collecting.
Yeah.
Like it is the common thread. I can't tell you how many memes and jokes I've seen, in stories.
I was gonna ask you at the end of this, like
Yeah.
after doing your list,
Yes.
after sitting there and figuring out your top 10, whatever criteria you set, or if you just kind of picked things and went with it, what is the one thing that you learned from all of this?
Oh, just that I have too many toys.
You put more thought into it. And,
I know. I mean, I really could have gotten really scientific with the list. I really, there's so, I mean, I'm still surprised. And this is like, I have one of my figures that I thought hands down lock was going to be my top figure. And then when I actually put the list together, he's knocked down to like 4 or 5. I'll talk about it when we get there, but like, it is just, I was going with a lot of feeling. If that makes sense. So
and that's what I was afraid of.
But
is I would be going with like, how just like you said, like the feelings, like the nostalgia or the, and
Mm-hmm.
that was one of the criteria under
Yeah.
enjoyment.
Right.
But yeah, let's get into it and I'll break it down like.
Yeah, no, that's good. So let's catch up on the chat real fast. So let's see, here we go. Samurai Chris is in the house. What's going on? Happy New Year, buddy. And Go Figure Go, like I said, in the house. Go check him out again. Awesome dude. And yes, all right. So Cody's in the same boat as, like, again, anybody that does what we do. Yeah, we all went very hard, and that's okay, because now, like I said, rather than, I mean, I was even talking to my wife like earlier today about, I still have a lot of backlog of toys from 2022 to like open and talk about on my show. But the days of me like, hey, today's episode, 4 or 5 new figures that came in this week. Like, I can't keep doing that. I just can't. So I'm going to go through a lot of like old stock. I'll get whatever, few things. I'm still buying toys. But very selective. And then, like I said, I'm already thinking about other things to like discuss or do and focus on during this time together that we all hang out on Sunday nights. So yeah, it's just gonna be fun because I love doing this, and I love the big group hang. It's so nice. Like, here's Toy Addict 17's in the house. What's going on, my brother
As
Danny?
a viewer, I love watching it.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Machu Toy, Happy New Year, buddy. What's going on, Matt? Once again, Machu Toy, another guy, no competition. He and Jay Shot, they have an awesome show on YouTube. Go sub Machu's account if you don't already, Between Two Sentinels. And Liquid Momentum, he came in. What place did you come in, Liquid? In the toy pick community. That was great. Anyway, I remember your shot. We talked about it last week. Clintastic, 2022, a slow and steady year for my collection until all of the Hasbro announcements at the end of the year. Oh, because Clint is an X-Men fan.
Slow and steady.
He was good, I think, right? That's what he's saying. Hey, good for you, Clint. I was not. But again, his wheelhouse is X-Men, so they just slammed him. Just like you with Turtles this year. Like, you got hit left and right haymakers throughout the year.
Yeah.
They kept doing
what they did to me, I can't say on this feed a little bit.
And then Liquid, hard to do a top 10 when most of them are still in their boxes. That is very true. Fortunately, I always open up everything that comes in that I'm like fired up about or excited about, and that's was going to make my list matter. Literally, all the stuff in my closet, I have it open. Like, I look at so many legends, and I'm just like Kang. I don't have any ideas for Kang yet, so I'm like happy I have him, but like, I'm not just going to open him now because then it'll just be another figure to get dusty, At least if he's in the box, that's like now my new organization. I'm like, I haven't shot that guy yet.
Oh, no, I get it. That was kind of one of the criteria in picking.
So, well, then let's hear about your criteria. So guys, what we're going to be doing tonight is, like I said, I have a little slideshow. I took 10 like vanilla poses of my figures in a slideshow, but I thought, because Eric did such a tremendous job this week of making reels to announce his top 10 and his honorable mentions, that we'd share them here, because why not? Like, they were amazing, and if they haven't been seen, then you can see the type of work that Eric does, because it's fantastic, right?
Thank you.
All right, so I want to start with you, because you laid out your criteria, which I know you tweaked, but for your first reel. So I'm going to include the audio. People in the chat, let me know if there are any issues with lagging or volume or anything, because we'll pivot to a different thing. But let me just, where am I going this? All over the place. See, because now I have to like present the thing again. Oh, it's so annoying. Okay. Chrome tab, Autumn Night. Okay. So here we go, everybody. So now please pay attention to this, because Eric will walk you through his criteria for it. But away we go. Here we go.
Hey guys, welcome to my first ever Top 10 Figures of the Year countdown. I will be using a point system based on 4 categories. The first category is going to be character likeness and deco. The second category will be based on articulation. The third category will be the accessories. The final category will be based on enjoyment, or how often I think I'll use this figure. One thing you guys are going to notice is there's going to be some older figures on this list. The reason is I acquired them in 2022. Alright guys, let's kick things off with a few honorable mentions. In no particular order, we have the Target exclusive Liv Morgan, the Elite Series 7 Triple H, and the Survivor Series Jeff Hardy. In terms of character likeness, I think all 3 of them have fantastic head scans. All three of them also have really cool, vibrant colors. Overall, for character likeness and deco, I'm going to give these guys 5 out of 5 stars. Single jointed elbows earn all three of these figures 4 out of 5 stars for articulation. In terms of accessories, there's no additional head scans or alternative hands, earning them a score of 3 out of 5 stars. This really hinders the overall posability, giving the enjoyment score a 3 out of 5 stars, solely based on these being grail pieces that I finally acquired. Hey guys,
I love
welcome
it.
to my...
I love it. That was great. All right. So
All right.
hit us with it, because I'm going to start then going into your top 10. But if there's anything now you wanted to tweak so everybody knows what we're going to be expecting.
So I had to make some adjustments. Having 5 stars, 5 out of 5 stars was very difficult when you've got 10 figures, and I set criteria. The first one was likeness and deco. I've been getting questions about that, like what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I watched this other YouTube channel called Spectre Creative, and I guess he used to work for Mattel, and he's like a behind the scenes guy, and he does a lot of informative videos telling us, well, why do stores have exclusive, or why do they reuse parts, or what is the purpose of this, and he goes into all that stuff behind the scenes, like the logistics and stuff, and he uses the term deco. I guess it's short for like decoration.
Sure, right.
I guess it means like the sculpting, how good the sculpting is, how good the tooling is, how good the paint applications are. Like it's just like basically the aesthetics of the figure. So
that's nice, because that's a nice catch-all term too, because otherwise, yeah, then it's a guy like me being like, well, the paint apps, but if it's like, if you have issues with the entire look of it visually, then that's nice to just be like the deco, because it is all-encompassing. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. So that, like, to me, I got hard into figurines this year because I want to shoot Marvel figures, and I don't really like Hasbro figures. There's nothing against them. I know there's going to be diehard fans. I know people love their figures, but I love when a figure, like, who's from a movie looks like the character from a movie. And I don't have the money for hot toys, so I think figurines was kind of a happy medium. So likeness was important. The next criteria was it does not have to be purchased in 2022. I know a lot of people do their list and they're like, what came out this year? And me, I was like, no, it's like, what did I acquire this year? Like, who cares when it came out? It's new to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that was one of the criteria. Like I mentioned, I had to change the rating system because if I'm starting to get 5 points for likeness here and there, you start to get like 3 or 4 figures that get like the same score. And I didn't want to do one of those top 10s where like some people cheat and it's like you get a tie for number 3 and they got like 2 figures. Or if I counted like a NECA does like 2 packs or 3 packs or 4 packs, it's like I picked this pack and next thing you know, my top 10 is like 35 figures.
Right, I know. Trust me, I was trying to stop myself. I did stop myself, but I was like, should I cheat and do a couple of like, they're kind of similar.
But I was like, I'm not doing that.
I kept it a pure 10.
Yeah, 10 figures is 10 figures. That is it. If there's a tie, then one is going to be like 3 and the other one will be 2. And then, there'll be a deciding factor on why one came before the other. But there's only 10 across the line. There's no cheating.
Right.
The other thing, drawing a blank now. There's likeness, there's deco. I took into consideration the articulation because we want our posability. We've been nagging on Toddy Mac all year, so
yeah, I gave up on that. I've been on board with the McFarlane toys.
The other thing that I didn't count is money. I noticed a lot of people were considering the value of their figure, and I find that to be completely like nonsense, because what if you got a figure on clearance and you got it $5? Does that all of a sudden make it better than if you had paid full price for it? So I didn't want to involve monetary value at all. It's just having the figure. What do I like about having it in my hand? It doesn't matter what it cost, if it was clearance, if it was a gift, if I had to pay like triple retail, whatever it was.
Right.
Just count the figure itself. Well,
I like that, and I also did not factor in, because you could easily, you know, because we know that it's like the stock market of toys. So like at any of these figures, we could have assessed value and blah blah. Like no, I didn't do that either. Nothing. There's no money. These are my toys. They're gonna stay with me and then go to my kids. Like these are mine. You know, I'm not worried about money. It's just, I mean, I am, but not in the sense of this list.
Yeah. Then when it came to what was the last one? The last one was enjoyment.
Right.
I went through the apartment and I'm picking up the figures and I'm thinking about how excited I was when I finally got it in, and how let down I was when it didn't have a certain thing that I wanted to have.
Okay.
And how often did I shoot the figure, or will I shoot the figure? And those are things that came into consideration for enjoyment. So that's my 4 criteria. Each criteria was given a point between 1 and 10. I did the math. The math added up, and then I made the list according to the numbers.
And this is why I love you, Eric, because like I knew that you were taking this more like structured like look of it, and that my personality is just like, I'm gonna fly by the seat of my pants and we're just gonna have fun talking it out. And honestly, as like everything that you're describing are probably, you know, in a lot of ways like how we gauge our figures, you know. It says that you've you know structured it for this, you know, for your list and ranking system. But wow, where's I going with that? Shoot. I hate when that happens, when it's just the thought flies away. That's okay. My point is, this is nice because, as you were talking about your criteria, I started thinking of like my upper echelon, like my 1 through 3, 1 through 4. And yeah, those things did factor in. So, yeah. So here we go. Let me run through the chat and then we will get to we'll start with our top 10. So let me just scroll down a little bit because I jumped up real quick. Okay, so Toy Addict 17. I did not get this guy, but Theodore Sodcutter made it to the top 5. Very interesting. He looks awesome. That's that Mezco Crypt Keeper type of guy. I don't know if you've seen any. I know you're not a Mezco guy, but
I don't recall that.
He's just this really like, he's just a graveyard guy. He looks awesome, and he's perfect for Toy Addict.
Chainsaw like on his head or something.
No. This is like, he looks ghoulish and like he's got these long arms, and it's just very nice. Go check it out.
I would know, but like
again, don't look at Mezco. Just you're
stay in your lane.
You're in figure arts and NECA. That's it. I'm just kidding.
I mean, obviously the wrestling.
Oh yeah, naturally. AA Figs, this is the year where I forgot a lot about pre-orders that came in randomly. Oh yes, that was very true. Randomly, yes. That was a big thing. I joked about it a couple weeks ago. Like there was that stretch of time where it was like boxes were at my door every day. I'm glad. I mean, I'm happy and sad about that not being the case anymore. Let's see. Second. That's right. Like when you got second in the TPC. That's awesome. All right. But thank you. I'm glad you felt like number 1. That's awesome. No Chewing. Let's see what he has to say. No Chewing said, I keep a list of all my figure buys for the year, and I'm surprised which are my favorites outside of, say, the top 25. I don't know if I needed them. Yeah, that's kind of like a big thing too. Again, and really assessing what's around. Like I feel like, and you've probably heard me say this before, but I've always compared this to like a painter's room. Like these are all my different paints for my artwork, you know? Like I have a lot of paint. I don't know if I need other variations of khaki, you know? Like I think I have, or like another variation of, you know, the beige or red or blue. Like I have all my paints.
That's one of the things that I was thinking about when doing the list. A lot of stuff that I thought would make the list didn't. One of the other parameters that I set was that it had to have been opened. I'm not one of those people who opens everything. If I feel compelled to shoot the figure and I'm like, oh my god, I want to do this, and it's like excited about, I'll open it. Right. But I did a lot of the NECA pre-sales, and like they came in, and I'm like I wanted it. It's good to have it in the collection, but am I gonna shoot it? Do I really? You know, I look at some of the articulation, and it's like I know that this guy's dopey and doesn't have ab crunch and doesn't, you know, and it's like, am I gonna post this? No, I'm not. It's an exclusive. It's staying in the box. It does it's not that I don't want it, but it's like you start to evaluate priorities, and it's like, did I need it? And because it's not open, it doesn't get counted. So
I was totally with you. These are all unboxed. Like I said, I have that still a couple shelves full of toys to get. They were discounted. They were not discounted. They were discredited from this list because they're not. I had to play with them. I had to be able to open them and mess around with them.
Yeah, you have to like get them in your hands in order to fully assess the enjoyment value, the articulation, the deco.
So our friend Jace is in the house. Storybook, what's going on, man? Storybook Heroes.
Man.
Check him out on Instagram. His stuff is seriously next level. It's amazing. And then he said, "LOL." That was my question on Deco. I'm sure you weren't the only one, but I'm in the group chat with those guys, and I do remember when like Eric started explaining to it. This is so cool. So this is my brother-in-law Mike. However, this is probably because he's watching it with my nephew Mikey. What's going on, Mikey? And maybe Melly too, my niece. Hi guys, if you're up, that's awesome. Let's see what else. Too much. So Cody, most folks can't get every figure they want in any given year. Sometimes it's not even possible to find it in stock, even if you can buy it. That is the truth. That's you're talking to me about every Walmart except for Parallax, every single Walmart gold label McFarlane. I couldn't get any of those.
That's like a whole other video.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like so, if I start talking about that, we're gonna like 4 hours.
Oh, I know. Well, that's like, where did I go? Oh, yeah, I see. I have my alternate list right here too. Toy Talk's in the house. Make sure you subscribe to them tomorrow night, 8:30, over on their channel. They are going to be having Chubsy Wubsy back on. So they were a blast last episode. The last time they were on. So definitely, sub Toy Talk. What's going on, Toy Father? Gaming with Fox, my buddy Paul. What's going on, dude? Happy New Year! And yes, go sub my friend Paul if you like positive, enthusiastic video game streamers. He's awesome. Machu Toy, the Black Panther, slid right in and shuffled up my top 5. Dude, I saw his reel. It looks awesome. Like, it is a great looking figure. And that's interesting. This is actually going to be a nice segue. So here we go. My first honorable mention. I was very surprised that he didn't make the final cut, but so here's a criteria for me, Eric, and I didn't write it down and list it, but I was like, this is something I kept in mind. It was, I wanted to like make sure I had nice representation of companies throughout my top 10. Like, I didn't want just, like I said, a Legends list, I wanted to show all the different lines that I've enjoyed throughout the year. So this one, I thought, this is my Revoltech. This is my first and only Revoltech figure, my Deadpool. And he's in my honorable mention. I thought he'd be in the top 10 easily, but Revoltech, as much as I love playing with him and posing him, he takes about 20 or 30 minutes to set up because he has so many different little like pop in the eyes and this and that. So like I'm finding myself not using him as much as I had hoped, but I do love the figure. So he's an alternate. I'm going to just run you through mine real quick. I threw another G.I. Joe on my alternate list, but Storm Shadow I thought was a truly incredible G.I. Joe classified figure. The fact that he was at retail, like regular, the $20 or $22 price point, when they put out Kamakura, like a few months later, and it's essentially the same figure with like less stuff, or different, but less. It felt like that at a higher price point, like Storm Shadow took it for me. He was awesome. I threw the Lizard in there. I know that some people were like, I love the head sculpts. I know that some people were like on the fence about it, but I thought that was a very cool legend. I had a Mezco. A lot of Spideys now coming up. My 2099. That was honorable mention. Honorable mention. He was not my Mezco on my official top 10. Mythic Legions, as much as I've been falling in love with them, I've only just recently started unboxing a few more. So Purplor is amazing. Like I think No Chewing had said that was his favorite, and then I unboxed them, and now he's my favorite too. Oops, as I popped the head off. But Purplor, so that's my Mythic Legion. I don't have any representation of Mythic Legions on my list except for this guy. And my last two, and this is where you're gonna laugh at me, but they're the same book. And I had these guys on my list, and I actually knocked them off earlier, or not together, but the Amazing Fantasy and the cell-shaded animated Spidey.
Okay.
These are amazing. Like, these are the best Spider-Man bucks on a Legend ever. Like, I love these two toys so much. I can only have so much Spider-Man on my top 10 list.
I'm waiting for the figures because they're gonna have the the face sculpts like
Yes.
Kobe and like Andrew. It's just because you gotta have to unmask, you know.
Oh, I hear you, dude. It's gonna be they're gonna be awesome. I've still been back and forth on if I'm gonna go for them. But no chewing. Let's see. I struggle with the notion of not value, but retail price comparing the VHS $28 figure with the Mezco Wolverine 150. Ultimately ignored it, but there should be a considerable difference. Yeah, like that's why I think for me, my primary criteria was really like the enjoyment factor and not where, because when you take price out of it, it's like really like I have just as much fun posing like, again, a legend as I do a Mafex, or a figure arts, like, I mean, they're close enough. I don't know. I'm just saying. Like, I know there's difference. You know what I mean? I get it. Again, taking the idea of money out of this. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all of these things are worth what we're willing to pay for it. Like that's the end of the can't talk. End of the day. All right, Machu Toy. If a figure has been stored in a bin or box or is not moved on my shelf for a while, it won't count in my list. If a figure is one that I'm always picking up and posing, it ranks up pretty high. That is a huge one because that's part of what we're talking about with like, the usability. Whether it's posing it on the couch or using them in shots, like for sure, you have to.
No, I definitely think that goes into enjoyment. But I also think when you're doing a top 10 from the year, something that you bought in January is slowly going to pushed to the back of the shelf as new stuff comes in. And then in December, when you're doing a top 10 list and it's like you got new ones that you just can't put down, I feel like you have to remember those that kept you occupied for 3 months before you kind of, shuffle them away. So
it is incredibly true. But here, Macho Choi, this is an interesting point about because this is what I meant by this. I love my Mayfix Spider-Man, the couple that I have, but he's saying that the Amazing Fantasy Buck, in his opinion, is more fun to play with than the Mayfix. Dude, like that's what I'm saying. I spent all of Christmas night over at my brother-in-law's house. Like literally, like we were hanging out on the couch, and I'm just sitting there posing them up and everything. Because with the Mayfix, you do have to handle it with care. Like that's why I've said before, like figure arts, I don't have that same worry as I do with Mayfix. Like figure arts, I have a lot of fun twisting around. I don't really worry too much. I feel like it's a durable figure. But yeah, the legend, like just because you can do so much with it, I'm telling you, this is one of the best Spider-Man figures. Oh, it's so good. And that's what Santi's saying. So here we go. Good call. I stress Joy. I have Retro Beast. They're both still in box. Yeah, I have that Retro Beast too. He's awesome. All right, so this chat is bumping. Guys, I'm so happy. Keep it going. Keep the conversations going. I'm going to keep checking in with you guys in the chat. But I do want to start with Eric's number 10 pick, right? So we are going to fire this up. Oh, yeah, we're good. We're good. At the stream. All right, so here we go. Number 10. Away we go.
Kicking off our list at number 10 is the Bandai Tamashii Nations Avengers Infinity War Black Widow. In terms of likeness and deco, this figure is by far the most accurate looking Scarlett Johansson figure in the line. The leather armor shows intricate details. I'm not a fan of the gold hair or the overall physique. I'm also not a fan that the figure has gun holsters, but it didn't come with any guns. Likeness and deco is going to get a 7 out of 10. Her articulation is pretty standard for Bandai. She's lacking double-jointed elbows, and she's hard to balance in battle stances. Articulation gets a 7 out of 10. Moving on to accessories, she comes with 2 alternate head scans. Unfortunately, one of them has a side eyes. She also comes with 3 alternative pairs of hands. Her only weapons consist of 3 different versions of the same baton. A major killing point for this figure is that there's no guns. In contrast, a major bonus to this figure is that it includes 3 Tamashii effect explosions. These explosion effects are going to be awesome to use in other photos. Accessories are going to get a 5 out of 10. Moving on to enjoyment, I was really excited to get this figure, and these explosion effects are going to be so useful. Unfortunately, not having guns really kills this figure. Enjoyment gets a 4 out of 10, for a total of 23 points. Kicking off our list at number 10...
I love it. Eric, I do really enjoy your structure as opposed to my just whimsy.
I like it.
I like it a lot. Hold on, I lost my earplug. So yes, I'm with you on the guns. That was such a weird whole thing, and that actually prevented me from buying the Deadpool. Here, let me. You got her there. Let me bust you up. Solo. There we go. It's also weird that they didn't give her double jointed elbows, especially because she would be doing that pose of like holding the
you can't do the battle stance where she comes in and she's like got like one hand in front and then the legs are in the back, like like Spider-Man. Like you can't do any of that stuff. There's no guns. You just got battens, and it's like how many times like you got the baton that like you got the two in her hands.
Yeah.
Then you got the two. They give you the two nubs that you put on the back of the pack that they sit in, and then there's one big one that puts them together with a connecting piece. But it's the same weapon 3 times. Yeah. So it's like, how often am I going to take photos of that? I don't feel like it's very compelling, but the likeness is undeniable. And it was one that I had to like hunt down because the explosion effects are like some limited thing. So that ended up getting 10th place.
Well, the explosion effects do, in my mind too. Like I'm totally with you. Like that does make up for the lack of guns because those are great, and I love all of the like I have a couple of the like the more like anime style like explosion type things, and I love their stuff. It's really
they're
nice.
Like they're kind of like diorama pieces, and it's like with the fact that I can reuse them over and over, kind of gives this figure more value. It came with it.
Yeah. Well, here's my top. Here's my number in my 10th spot. Here we go. This is so silly. Now, part of my criteria. So this is it. It is the Solar Suit Superman that it's been custom modded, and this is why he snuck in. I wanted to have McFarlane representation on my list. I honestly could have selected any of the mega figures. I could have, I could rattle off about, they've gotten so, like, to me, they've gotten so good. I haven't been, had to mod them lately. The sculpting is great, or like, deco wise, everything. But for this, I feel like it still looks like made, kind of. It's how I would like if I could be Superman. Like it's the closest. I know he's more handsome, whatever, but I love that. And then this is the Mafex Superman cape that I, drilled holes and figured out how to do it. And it looks so good. So for me, it was like the enjoyment of having my own little super version. So that
when
my 10th
when you bring up likeness, I think it was like November. You had like this particular haircut and the beard and everything. And every time I'm watching the channel, I'm thinking like, he's got a striking resemblance to CM Punk. Like, I feel like you could have just bought a CM Punk figure and popped that on like anything and called it Yimbo.
Yeah. I made this joke many times in the past. I'm like create a wrestler default, one template. So I've been fortunate to have a few kind of stand-in figures that I haven't had to run out and buy the selfie series just yet. I've been a little fortunate in that regard. I hope I didn't just pull out or ruin this cape. Oh no, okay, we're good. So yeah, I love this guy, and like I said, it's for me. I wanted to have at least one McFarlane up on the list, and I couldn't help myself with Yimbo Soups. So that was me.
I gotta say though, you've tempted me. Last year, I made a promise. I was like, I got so fed up with these McFarlane figures. Like, one would have a torso crunch, the next wouldn't. One had thigh swivel, the other would. There was just no recipe or rhyme or reason for why things had what they didn't, and then it was never included. Like, I got a Wonder Woman. She literally does, like, nothing, but I needed the Build-A-Figure part. Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm not buying any more. And every week, you're coming on here, and you're rooting for Toddy back, and you've got they did the torso mod, and I don't have to do that anymore, and they came with this, and I'm like, oh damn it, and like I was so close, you don't even understand, so close to getting Shazam, and then Figure Arts announced that they were making one, and I was like, whoo, take that out of the.
That's fine, dude. Honestly, like when you showed me that Rock figure, the Black Adam, I'm like, that's the one, because you already have. So then you can have the Rock mess with all of your Avengers in Figure Arts scale. Like that's the way to really go about it.
But it was like I'm not gonna deny, like he nailed the likeness of the Rock on that figure.
Oh,
and
I know.
I was like, I'm seeing it in stores, and I was like, oh, I was so tempted to buy it. And then I saw your video, and you had a cloak, and I was like, where did you get the cloak? I would have got it if it had the cloak. And then,
I got the cloak and not the throne. That throne figure is pretty neat too, man. I have not seen that anywhere in the world. Even online, I have not been able to find that anywhere. So
The Constantine is tempting me now because like I don't think I've ever seen a Constantine figure, and I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't do it.
I will tell you that also looked good. I had it in hands, but my wife that particular day she gave me the come on. So she kept me in check that day, which is good because that now I have the Mezco Constantine on the way, and that's really what I wanted at the end of the day. So yay! All right, so that's my top 10. So that's my 10 spot. Like I said, this is my McFarlane represent. Which again, I'm not trying to expand this. I'm not pulling in 15 more figures for McFarlane. It's just that I wanted at least one representation. So there you go. So there's my super Yimbo.
Get him out of the way.
For not my number 9 spot. I also wanted to have my G.I. Joe classified because I literally have a gigantic tub now because I've been buying almost all of them. I did finally stop myself from getting all of them, but I have a lot, and I do love these figures. And this Outback figure, I mean, like, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I love this is some of the best sculpting that G.I. Joe has done, and they've been like easily one of like in terms of the $20-$30 scale, like easily one of the best lines. I mean, like people have. That's not just me saying it. Like I know people have said that they've beaten out, the Black Series. They've beaten out Marvel Legends for like their performance this past year. So I love this figure. This is my 9th spot. And like I said, I have a lot of G.I. Joes. Like I could have easily pulled in Crocmaster, Spirit, but I kept it with Outback. I love him. Handsome dude. old man handsome. All right, so Eric, so that's my number 9. So let's move over to yours.
I can just, if you want, like I can just talk about it.
It's up to you, man. The reels are great. You people in the all right. So look, why don't you talk about? Fine, you can talk about your.
They know where the channel is. They can go.
All right, but like I said, people in the chat, if you would like, we'll let Eric talk about his number 9 spot. But if you want me to go back to the reels, please, because like I said, I thought he did a tremendous job on them. But anyway, so here's your number 9 spot.
The reels are good because they kind of break down my criteria. But I mean, if we're just doing like a countdown, I can just this is number 9.
Yeah, there we
go. Deadpool.
All right, so this is the one that I've been like, I almost bought him at $60 on Amazon. Maybe this summer there was like a nice deal, and I almost did it, but I kept telling myself I didn't need him, and it was because of the guns. That was my issue. And I have the 2 versions of the Legends, and then I have a million other versions of Deadpool. So I was like, I'll skip this one.
So
you make me regret it. I will say that, Eric. You've made me regret it many times.
Like the articulation is great. Mm-hmm. He's got the eyes. All the eyes pop out, and you can. Mm-hmm. There's like 4 different sets that you can change the eye expression. So it's like 4 different head sculpts. Yeah. And then if you start mixing, one eye with a different eye, and then you start getting into math. And yeah,
that was a big selling point of that one too. Sorry.
The only weapons you get are the swords. And again, you get the backpack and you get the little nubs that kind of come off. Yeah. Then you get so when you can take the nub off and you can give him the full sword in one of his hands. He's got a plethora of hands. Like he can even do like the what is it, the heart thing that he does where he's like.
Yes. Oh, see, I know the hands were so.
He can do all that stuff. Like it's just so cool having all of those hands, but not having the guns. It comes down to posing, and in the movies. How often is he using the swords? It's right. Like, I want to create the stuff with the guns that I got this kind of like little, Hasbro. Okay. I don't know what it is. Yeah, but it's like, it doesn't really, you need more than one. There's an accessory set out there I got my eyes on, but it's like more than the figure.
I think I just saw it because, again, upcoming guest on Yimbo Interviews Everyone is Agent Gomez, my friend Jake over on Instagram. He's over on YouTube as Play With Toys. But yeah, I don't know if do you follow him because he just posted about this amazing, like a customizer made this like action pack with a shield and a light up Mjolnir. Yeah, oh my god. Yeah,
but it's like a $50 pack. And it's got like there's like so many different things. It's got like blood things that you can use and it's got like the guns, but then it's got little plugins where it's got like smoke for the bullets. Like it's just like cool. And I'm like, if I got that will increase the value of this tenfold.
Yeah. I mean, like, it might be where I feel like that's kind of where I am when it comes to a figure that could, it depends on the character for me. Like, it's kind of like the concept of buying a custom cape, right? Like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like, is it gonna, you know, if I spent $20 on a figure and I have to spend another 20 or 25 on a custom cape, is that going to, the whole entire value to me going to be worth it? You know, so in some cases it absolutely is, but in
Yeah.
other cases I'm like, how much am I going to use this? So that's for you. That's a sweet set.
Well, I mean that comes with like so much stuff that it's like
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be worth it. The only thing that I really hate about this figure, besides not having guns,
Right.
is you got all the interchangeable eyes, but I would have liked to have gotten like an unmasked head or like a mask
Yeah.
up to his mouth,
Sure.
you know, up above the to the eyes. I think like that would have been like sweet, but I mean, considering all of the hands,
Mm-hmm.
all of the eyes, there's just so much that came with it that I thought it was worth the value, and
Well,
it's one of my favorite. But again, just because of the guns,
yeah.
the enjoyment factor goes down because it's all about I want to recreate this scene in the movie. Oh, he doesn't have his guns. I want to
Yeah.
recreate. Oh, it's like how many times can I use one sword and one gun that I found laying around? Like no, I
Right.
want. He should have came with them. He's got holes in his legs for holsters, to hold them. And like, it's cool that they left the holes there because customizers make the holster.
Sure.
You can just plug in, but right out of the box, you're gonna figure with holes in it, and like the deck, it's like, oh yeah, look at these eyesores when you're taking pictures.
I will throw out something I thought as you were going through that, because I'm on the fence about the whole idea of the swords, because I think I kind of like the nubs, and I'll tell you exactly why. The Thor figure I have on Mezco, it has this where it's the empty sheath, and then I have the one with the handles. Deadpool with the actual katanas is amazing, but if you remember when I interviewed Sir Dork, he fell and like it snapped. Like I had to glue it. Unfortunately, my plastic surgery like glue is still working, but I can tell it, you know, I can look and go, oh, I broke it, you know? Yeah, it's so I kind of like the nub idea because, you know, it's very, I'm torn. Like this as a photographer, I really like and appreciate. And then the fact that like it won't just snap when he falls off the shelf. But then my inner child really likes having swords that come out. So I don't know. I guess I'm not really like settling this debate, but I could see both. I get entertainment out of either. I guess
the good thing about it is, you know, he comes with the sword holding hands.
Mm-hmm.
I just put the swords in once, and then if I need to use them, I just pop the hands on, and I already have the swords.
You know what? I did that with the Revel Tech. I did that with this the Psy hands. He came with hands like, you know, Raph would hold or Electra. Yeah. So I just threw the Psys in that way, and same deal. It's like, okay, those are Psy hands. So it's nice. Machu Toy said that is the Takara set. So yeah, Eric, definitely check that out.
Okay.
Ooh, look at this. Plunderlings is in the house. How about that? What's going on, guys? Does she come with, so this is going back to your 10th spot. Did she come with trigger finger hands? Black Widow? She did. Okay. All right. So at least they have. That's good.
A lot of them come with the hands, but what do you put in them? So it's kind of like, let's put it aside. And it's just like the other thing, like the side eye heads. I'm like, those don't count. Like, yeah, I may technically have another portrait, but it's the same freaking head. You just like painted the dots of the pupils to the side, and I don't count that as an alternate head. Like it's like it's just,
if there's no change in expression, then that's annoying.
Exactly.
If there was a different expression or like a or whatever, then fine. Exactly. I could deal with a side eye. Like I can only that's
if it enhances like the rest of the face, side eye will work. But if you're just giving me, you know, you're just printing the same thing twice and just, you know, moving the dots over, like no, that doesn't count.
Well, by the way, Jason's cracking me up right now because he said, "No guns, really? She's gonna save the world with hopes and dreams." That's great. Going back again in the chat, Machu Choi got that Sentinel Peter B in January. Oh, dude, I still play with that too. That he was where he ended up on my list is probably the most surprising because I thought he was slam dunk. I don't even want to tell you. Never mind. I don't want to spoil it if you guys have been into
No
it.
spoilers.
All right. So again, don't forget to let me know in the chat. Do you want to watch more of Eric's reels, or do you want us to keep talking about it? Because I only have on my slideshow, I just took my vanilla posing because I wanted to showcase Eric's stuff. Here, I'm gonna go into my 8 spot now. Bam. You'll get a kick out of that. Now, you might be mad at me that it's in my 8th spot, but
Well, I have to know what's ahead of it first.
well, once again, not to be like I'm selecting Leo, but I want to talk about the entirety of the turtle NECA cartoons toys. But like, kind of, I did because like Leo was always my boy. I've talked about him many times. Like Leo's the guy that, you know, he and Raph are the two, well, whatever. I guess we all connect with all 4 of them, but Leo's always been my guy. So like, to me, he is representative. Like, I love Leo. I love this whole Turtle in Disguise set. And then I love all of my cartoon turtles. So I wanted to just, like, this is my representative.
You know,
I'm cheating a little bit, but it's Leo. It is Leo's my number 8.
you know what would bring up the overall enjoyment?
Mm-hmm.
This turtle collaboration I've been hearing about.
I know. It's not that I don't enjoy the figures. It's just I don't have such. It's my shooting time, Eric. You know this. I just have to load up. You're right. I just need to like. See, my problem is, I'll just throw this out, because when I did like a bunch of turtle stuff, it was all portrait based. So like when
I'm
I wanted
just messing with you.
I know, but if that's like that's the person. Like, that's how I am. Like, I want to participate. I want to do it all, and it's just.
See, like, I'm shocked that Leo or the Turtles in Disguise were like number 8, solely because in my head they came with so much swag.
Oh, they
Like,
did.
Like, you got the skateboard, you got the boombox, you got the fabric coats with pockets.
I know, with the pockets, which are awesome.
Got pockets. You got the hats, you've got the alternative,
And
rubber
all
head.
The expressions.
Yeah,
So-
and the fact that they got the heads that pop off and you can switch to different eyes. And I'm like, to me, that is like 20 figures in one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm not playing your boat, 8.
No. I'm keeping. So for me, and this is just like, like where we enjoy, some of our toys differently. Like, I love my NECA stuff, but again, with like, I can't. I was trying to set up a shot with him, and he's still a little tough to do what I would want to do with them. So they are just, to me, really pretty toys that I want to like set up, but I can't like do the turtle stuff. So I've been on the fence about buying that the spring samurai, the spring turtle, like that the 5K toy one, because of the articulation. Then I thought about I have the Super 7 set, and I haven't touched them at all. So like, I don't know if that is going to be a little more articulated or maybe not. Maybe again, somebody like Cody can let me know if he's opened all of them.
From what I'm hearing about Super 7 is their leg joint, their waists are so incredibly loose that people will like, take them out and like the legs just kind of do that. Woo!
Like my body don't jiggle. I got it. Oh, well, I love them, and I just, like, you see it with my collaboration participation. I just don't. I'm not always pulled to shoot them. I am, and I'm not. It's just hard. I always want to shoot them. It's like idea based. I don't know. But anyway, I do love Eric. I love the whole NECA thing. You got me. When I look at my shelves across, like, it's your fault that I have so many now. Like, it's your fault. Like, so deal with it. So yes, Leo's at number 8, even though I love him tremendously.
Not even getting a commission on that.
I know. None of us do. None of our enabling actually helps anybody. Helps our wallets at all. It's just everybody just hurts each other. So that's my number 8. Did you hit your number 8? No, you have not. So what are we doing, guys? Do you want to see more Eric's reels, or do you want, like, I'm not trying to put you guys on the spot. Like, I just think that they're really good. Or should we save maybe his top 3 we can do, or it's Eric? You tell me, man. Whatever
you can do it. I feel like you really, really want to, so
I'll play another one. I
can pick up on that. I can pick up on it. You can
right.
roll that beautiful bean footage.
There we go. So let's get back to here. So this is now going to be number 8. Ooh, this is a good one that I also own.
Coming in at number 8 is the Bandai Tamashii Nations Avenger Infinity War Doctor Strange Battle on Titan Edition. Bandai did a great job capturing the likeness of Benedict. Paint details and sculpts are actually pretty good, down to the boots. One thing I really liked about this was the cloth cape. There's a hinge behind the neck guard, which you can attach a wired cloth cape to. The cape has lots of details and is double-sided, sporting a different look on the inside. The translucent magic effects really tie this character together. Likeness and deco are going to get an 8 out of 10. Let's move on to the articulation. Strange comes with a standard Bandai articulation. The robe has 2 layers of rubber overlays. This really hinders the leg movements. It also has a rubber neck guard. This allows you to attach the fabric cape. Unfortunately, it hinders the neck movement, awarding the articulation 6 out of 10 stars. When it comes to accessories, Strange has 8 sets of hands. There's also a hand attached to the red ribbon magic effect. There's an alternate head scan, but the eyes are closed. To top it off, there is a plethora of magic effects. Lastly, this figure includes a transparent magic portal. It's basically a piece of plastic with a sticker on it. Doctor Strange gets a 9 out of 10 for accessories. The cape makes the figure back heavy and hard to pose. He only has 1 head scan that's reusable, leaving an enjoyment with a 4 out of 10 stars and an overall score of 27. Coming in at number 8.
Those are really good points. I don't know if you remember, I bought that figure a couple summers ago, and I enjoy him. He's in my figure arts little tub that I have of some of the ones that I've been buying over the years. But I dig that figure, but I agree wholeheartedly with your critiques of, the different
double layer of plastic for the robe just kills the leg. You kind of put it in a position and the rope kind of slowly pushes the leg back.
Yeah. Although I will tell you, that's still significantly better than the Legends version. Like, you can't move the legs at all. Like, it's next to nothing. So at least you do get some. Like, that's why that's always been, if I need a Strange, like, that's the one I use, because, again, head sculpt too. I mean, those head sculpts.
Like, they gave us an extra one, but it's like that meditation one, and it's like,
I've taken one picture. One. I did the thing. I did the levitation thing. That was it. I never done it again. Ooh, that's a nice mug.
So what's worse, the closed eyes or the side eyes?
Well, they actually, I had the closed eyes. Oh, I see what you're saying. Out of the 2, man, I don't know. They, at least with the closed eyes, you know what? I did use it another time. What I did the Spidey Doctor Strange winking at each other with with Wong leaving through a portal. Like, I tried to recreate that scene from No Way Home, and I used that and I shot him from the side, so it was trying to be like he was winking at Spidey. So I used it twice. I have used it twice. Oh man. So let's see. Jace needs to join that TMNT collab. There we go.
Yes.
Little per storybook in there. Trevor's in the house. 1-6 shooter. What's going on, Trevor? Dude, great live this morning. He went on live on Instagram. Again, I can't stress it enough. Like, if Trevor goes live on Instagram, please, you have to, if you're a toy photographer, watch it, because he masterclass. So thank you again, Trev, for giving me some more tips. Cody, Spring Samurai is great articulation. Super 7, loose legs, and is only really.
I do love all of the different magic effects.
Oh, those magic effects are crazy. They're awesome. But I agree with you too. I'm glad you used the Legends portal, because that's significantly better than what they gave us.
Like I said, the other was like basically what did I say? It was like a translucent sticker.
But it's true. Like, I remember the first time I was like, I didn't even realize I had to peel, and then it's like, I'm gonna get the fingerprints. Yeah. But yeah, like, it was really cool 2 summers ago. But as soon as Legends came out with that other one, I'm like, oh, this blew that out of the water. Like,
what I hate about it is because it's plastic, it's reflective. So
yes.
Whatever, if I'm setting up lights, it's like, here's a red light reflecting off the middle of the portal. Here's a green light. And I was like, I'm never going to use this because it just reflects everything so much. And you got to start to get strategic in where do you put the lighting so that you don't get the reflections. And I'm like, is this too much?
Right. No, I'm with it. So our buddy Jay said, I want to get that Doctor Strange, but man, I had a bad experience. That's just SHF. I had a Cap Endgame and held it in my hand. I couldn't get myself to get another one other than Hulk. That's fair. I mean, like, I I will say, as a toy dabbler, like I have a lot of Avengers. No, I didn't get like the whole team. I think you've now eclipsed me, Eric, when you started like going for them. And it's just a matter of taste in terms of posing, like it's just a matter of that's it. So I get it.
The
Like,
fact that they're so puny. Like if you're used to McFarlane,
yeah,
Mattel,
NECA, yeah,
NECA, Hasbro, they're all in like well, not Hasbro, but the rest of them are in like that 110 scale.
mm-hmm.
And even Hasbro is apparently they're not true 1/6 or
No,
1/12 scale.
right? No, Figure Arts is the true 112 from
Yeah.
what I
So
understand. Right?
like the first one I got was Wonder Woman, and she's like this tiny little like, what is this? What did I pay for this? But then when you start articulating it and you start looking at the likeness and you start looking at all the different like weapons and stuff, and I'm like, all right, I can get some good pictures with this.
Machu says, look into the Mafex Strange. That version is amazing. Well, I will have to look into that because I know Eric is sticking with Figure Arts.
I think isn't that the one that's got like it's got a backpack or something that plugs in, but it's got it's all the hands. So he's got like six.
It might be. It might be. I'm kind of back on. I'm super on board with Mafex these days, so we'll have to see. I was off the train for a little while, and now I'm back on. Let's see. Agent Variant, our man George. Figure Arts needs to work on their sizing, and it's for him they're a little too small, and that's fair. I mean, like again, it's just so many of these are just a matter of preference.
Why all mine are like pre number 5 on the list?
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Let's keep this. Let's keep our own this current train, top 10 train, moving along. Here we go to Eric's number 7.
Moving on to number 7.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Like I said, moving on to number 7. We actually have a tie, and since we're not doing 2 figures per spot, this will take number 7, and the next will take number 6. Hailing from the Elite Kill Action Greatest Hits in Volume 1, The Rock. Starting with the likeness and deco, we have what can only be described as Build-A-Figure pants and a shirtless Rock. Both the pants and the torso are a boring, solid color.
It doesn't matter!
Actually, it does. However, this new updated head scan really kills it. Likeness and deco get a 7 out of 10. Quickly going over articulation, we have the updated Elite articulation with double jointed elbows and removable hand, earning this figure an 8 out of 10 stars. For accessories, we get the Rock's trademark gold glasses, a gold chain, an amazing soft goods shirt, and a microphone. Because of the updated articulation, we do get an alternative set of hands. Being a re-release with some updates, I would have preferred a different microphone and a better choice of alternate hands. Accessories get a 6 out of 10 stars. When it comes to enjoyment, I had to make some changes. Like first off, let's get rid of that scratch logo and get a Raw is War mic. And let's also swap out those closed fists for a set of just bring it hands. Now we're just going to add the Defining Moments shirt and the world title for a 7 out of 10 stars.
All right. So
I know that's probably like cheating.
No, because you know what? Like, look, again, it's our own lists. It's not like we're trying to say that we're the experts in this. This is just for enjoyment. And I had a modded Superman cape on my first one.
Well, the only reason I bought him was because it's updated articulation.
Sure.
The fact that I can switch the hands out and that it's got the double jointed elbows was the only reason I bought it. I already had the figure, but the Defining figure had the fabric pants that went over like the Rock tights.
Okay.
So what I did was like I have him with his, but now I have another one, so I can have both shirts on display.
Which is awesome.
So having the original one without the articulation, here we go. Having the original one without the articulation, I can still have this, but moving the shirt over from the Defining Moments, using the hands from the Mick Foley 2-pack, it's like I can switch the hands, double jointed elbows. I can, switch the shirt back to that one if I want to, but it just brings more life into this figure and it's more enjoyable to see it on the shelf, instead of the mic holding hands or just being boring. What happened?
Hi.
Uh,
So this is just a little technical difficulty. My computer, which again, I guess I'm going to need a new one this year. But it just totally spazzed out on me and restarted. So I just quickly jumped on because I was like, oh no, Eric's going to freak out. So I'm on my phone and then I'll pop back in once that gets going. So anyway, continue with your discussion. What did I miss on it, Eric? What were we missing?
yeah, I was just saying how because the hands are removable, and I can use the hands from the Mick Foley rock set.
Mm-hmm.
It just lets me change the aesthetics on the shelf and just have a more pleasant looking, accurate rock to have on display instead of having them with two hands to hold a chair or something, or
Mm-hmm.
like the original release. So that's all. I just bought it to have a different one on display.
Dude, I regret the one that I ended up buying because I do agree with you. Like the head scans, those Attitude Era Rock ones that they were putting out. I bought the one with the football jersey, which I never even liked in real life during the Attitude Era, but it was the one that was there, and I wanted that again, that updated classic head sculpt, and it's so good. I've popped it on the Ultimates body before, like in the past. It's a little bit smaller, I noticed, than like Bald Rock.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. It's not ideal, but I've done it. It doesn't. It's not like out of the question.
I don't understand how they made that Amazon exclusive rock. The ultimate, where he's got the like the yelling face, and they haven't used that scan. And it's like, these companies have to pay money to get these scans. Why aren't they reusing them more? Like it's, I don't know.
It does not make sense.
That would have given this figure like over the top, because I understand it was a re-release for people who missed the best of the Attitude Era, but you're changing the articulation. So if you're changing the articulation, instead of including a set of closed fists and open hands, give us the, just bring it, right?
Yeah,
Give us the
yeah.
hand. You're gonna change that. You could put a different head sculpt in. I'm sure people who are buying this figure are buying it for the shirt, because
Dude,
basically,
those shirts are both. I'm so jealous of those shirts.
like I said, like in the review, it's basically you got Build-A-Figure pants that are monocolored, and then you've got a torso that's basically just like, I think he's got like the Brahma bull on his arm, but the rest of it is just flat colored. There's no shading or anything. It's just a flesh-colored piece of plastic. The only thing that sells this figure is the accessories. You get the chain, you get the glasses, you get the fabric good shirt. That's it.
Oops. Sorry, hold on. There we go. I was trying to. We're back. Hold on.
Multi-use
there we go. I saw those comments coming in. Oh man.